Hi, this is Mike Slater in San Diego, filling in for the great Bill O'Reilly. It's Friday, September 2nd, 2022. You're listening to the O'Reilly Update. Here's what's happening today in America. House Republicans demand answers from Facebook. 9 in 10 voters are gravely concerned about the country's future. Crime spirals out of control in New York City and near every other city. And a new survey ranks the best places to live in the nation. Also coming up, the message of the day about Biden's speech last night. But first, Republicans in the House demanding answers from Facebook over the FBI's involvement in censoring the Hunter Biden laptop story. The Oversight Committee sending a letter to executives at the social media platform, writing, quote, shortly before the 2020 presidential election, Facebook suppressed an explosive New York Post article detailing how Hunter Biden used the position and influence of his father. We want to see all communication with the FBI. What was the FBI's role in censoring that story just before the election? A survey from Fox News finds 87% of voters are extremely worried about the future of America. The biggest issues before the midterms: inflation, immigration, crime, and the economy. Just 28% think that Biden is doing enough to lower prices of everything. 2/3 believe the president should do more to ease inflation. Joe Biden's approval rating remains stuck in the high 30s, a little bit better than earlier this summer. Now, based on his speech last night, which is going to be the theme of the message of the day, he'd have you believe that the entire country is worried about Trump becoming the next president, domestic terrorists, MAGA Republicans, the fascists that are out there. No, worried about gas prices and crime, violent crime in the New York City subway system rising 58% compared to the same time last year. Mayor Eric Adams, the former police officer, promised to beef up the police presence to stop the chaos. Well, he's been there for a while now. Since taking office on January 1st, shootings are up 20%, assaults up 35%, robberies 25%, car theft 33%. U.S. News & World Report ranking the most livable towns in America. Cities are judged by income, pollution, access to healthcare, and life expectancy. Top 5 in 2022, San Jose, California, Boulder, Colorado, Green Bay, Wisconsin, Colorado Springs, Colorado, and number 1 most livable town in America, Huntsville, Alabama. The least desirable town in the USA, Detroit, Michigan. 45% of folks in the Motor City live below the poverty line, and the average home sells for $30,000. The message of the day about Biden's speech last night: the fight for the soul of America. Moments away.
Inflation at its highest level in 40 years, and interest rates are skyrocketing, as you know. Market experts like Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan, predicting recession. So to protect your future, do what I did. Call the only precious metal dealers I trust, American Hartford Gold. They will show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. You can get started with a short phone call. They will place physical gold and silver right at your door or inside your IRA or 401k. They are the highest rated firm in the country with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and thousands of satisfied clients. Please tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they'll give you up to $2,500 of free silver on your first order. Don't wait. You can call them now. 877-444-GOLD. 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Again, 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532.
Mike Slater filling in for Bill O'Reilly. Now it's time for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. Biden gave a speech yesterday about fighting for the soul of our nation. Couple things about that. I've always loved the visual from C.S. Lewis in Mere Christianity. He talks about humanity and also any organization or your family as a fleet of ships. And for a journey to be successful, you need 3 things. You need each ship to be seaworthy. You need each ship to be able to sail straight, and you need to know where you're going. If the ships each sink on their own, that's no good. If the ships keep knocking into each other and sinking each other, that's not going to work. And if you end up in different places, or if you're supposed to go to New York, but you all end up in South Africa, well, then we got a problem there too. And I would argue as a nation, we're missing all 3. We don't know where we're going. We can't get along. And a lot of people are very unwell for a million different reasons. Despair, is at all-time highs. We're not a healthy fleet right now. And you know what's not helpful? Calling half the country fascists and terrorists. Now, I'm not surprised Biden is doing this. When you're flailing, the best way to unite your team is to attack the other team. So it makes sense why he's doing it, of course, but it certainly is not good, especially from the great uniter that is Joe Biden, right? So why am I skeptical when the president talks like this? It's all just a setup for more government control over your life. Where in the past it was to protect you from COVID, now they're going to take away your rights to protect you from enemies domestic. We need to take away your rights to protect democracy, whatever that even means. Here's why I'm concerned about it. So progressives tend to believe that people are inherently good. So if people are born good and bad things still happen, it means something is broken. And if something is broken, then it needs fixed. And the only thing big enough or good enough to fix a broken thing is the government, the federal government. So when I hear people like Joe Biden talk about the soul of the nation and all these things are broken, it's just a setup for the government to swoop in and fix it. So if democracy is broken or under attack, then we need to get rid of the Electoral College. If the Supreme Court is violating your rights, then we need more people on it. We got to pack the court. If we're not winning elections, well, we need more mail-in voting and less voter ID. We got to fix these attacks on democracy. Now, of course, as we've seen with student loans and high crime and energy and really pretty much every single thing wrong in America, honestly, you could trace it back to some government failure that got us in this mess in the first place. Name a problem, and I'll tell you the government solution that got us here. So the premise of Biden's argument, right? These things are broken, I'll fix it. That is at least suspect. Conservatives, by the way, believe that people are inherently flawed. Our founders believe this. Therefore, power should be dispersed as wide as possible. That no person or even small group of people should have too much power over anyone else. And if people do have power, there's checks and balances. Also, they believe that individuals make the best decisions for their own lives and should feel the consequences of those decisions, good or bad. Which is why conservatives tend to preach morality. This is why John Adams said our Constitution was made for a moral and religious people. It's wholly inadequate to the government of any other. Personal responsibility is essential. May I suggest instead of focusing on the soul of the nation, we focus instead on saving souls. But many people don't even believe in those in people. I think we're just the product of evolution and we're brains and bodies. This is why I hear many people on the left talk about like black bodies as their way to describe a person. It's odd. But we need to focus on saving souls. That comes first. The nation follows suit. More coming up.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-925-7584 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-925-7584. That's 800-925-7584. What do you have to lose? Call 800-925-7584. Again, 800-925-7584.
Hey, this is Mike Slater filling in for Bill O'Reilly. Now it's time for something you might not know. Inflation is bad, but shrinkflation might be worse. Dawn dish soap, it was 7 ounces, now it's 6.5 ounces, and you can't tell the difference if you look at the two bottles even next to each other. Honey Bunches of Oats, it was 14.2 ounces, the new box is 12 ounces. Well, actually, the box is the same. There's just 2 bowls less of the cereal in it for the same price. So the inflation in this box of cereal is actually 17%. Gatorade's always been 32 ounces. Now it's 28. The middle of the bottle is thinner. And Gatorade said they did this because it's easier to hold. Listen, the reason that Biden gave a speech yesterday about the soul of the nation is because what else is he going to talk about? The economy? Gas prices? Inflation? As the country is beginning to unite against Democrats, all he can do to keep his power is to try and unite his team against Republicans, those evil terrorists. The economy is going to get worse. And It will be very hard, and we'll get through it. We've been through worse, and it's in the Bible. 2 Kings 6:25, it tells the story of Samaria, and the city was surrounded by the enemy. And the Bible says the siege lasted so long that a donkey's head sold for 80 pieces of silver, and a cup of dove's dung sold for 5 pieces of silver. So the siege on the city was causing prices to be so expensive. There's so much inflation that even a donkey's head, the head of an unclean animal, could only be afforded by the rich. This was God's punishment on them for worshiping Jezebel's pagan gods. These people were so pagan at the time. Check this out, how desperate and pagan they were. The next verse, the king's walking along and a woman yells at him for help. And he says, what's the matter? What's going on? And she says, oh, this woman told me, give up your son so that we may eat him today. And tomorrow we'll eat my son. So we cooked my son and ate him. And the next day I said to her, we'll give up your son so we may eat him. But she had hidden him. These women were eating their children. And she was mad that we ate my kid, but then she skipped town before we could eat her kid. Okay, pretty desperate, pretty bad. Makes eating a donkey head and dove droppings not seem so bad. There's nothing new under the sun. So what do we do with this? Well, of course, let's elect people to make better decisions for our country, of course. And in the meantime, let's focus on what really matters during difficult times. Things that money can't buy. And we'll make it through. More coming up.
This advertisement is paid for by Lacuna Ventures, LLC. For terms and conditions, visit yourrights.legal. Attention! If you or someone you know spent time at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina prior to 1988 and developed serious health conditions such as non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, lung cancer, bladder, breast, or kidney cancer, you may be eligible for significant financial compensation. Call Camp Lejeune victims to discuss your case now at 800-706-9790. Leaking underground tanks contaminated the drinking water with benzene and other highly carcinogenic chemicals, up to 280 times acceptable levels. Marines, their families, contractors, or employees who spent at least 30 days at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune prior to 1988 and developed a serious health condition, called to determine your eligibility for financial compensation. If you don't win, you pay nothing. It's critical to take action and call now. 800-706-9790. That's 800-706-9790. Again, 800-706-9790.
It has been an honor and a pleasure being with you this week and filling in for Bill. MikeSlater.locals.com. Have a great day.